Welcome to NarrativeNook audio tales where enchanted stories come to life. If you enjoy our stories, please subscribe, like and share to support our channel. Enjoy listening. Damien made his move. Steve's expression was very stern and somber. The project with Sky Corporation was very dear to him, and he was at the brink of questioning his entire existence to figure out how Damien had acquired their project. I think so. Nicole shrugged, not aware of what was happening. You think so? Steve was at loss due to Nicole's response. What does she even mean? Steve bit his lip before hesitating for a moment. Then, Nicole looked Steve in the eye and said, "It just feels a little strange. Even if Damien has what it takes to stand against us, this wouldn't be the time he has shown us how capable he is. One thing is clear for sure. They were being way too obvious. On top of that, how could Everett come to be this calm in this, out of all situations? They landed themselves this major project. How could they be this calm?" She pondered. Steve, on the other hand, was unable to remain calm, so he muttered, "Do you think someone deliberately set this up to pit the head office against Nando Corp? I can't rule this possibility out." Nicole's mind singled one particular individual out at once, a mischievous look crossing her face. Since when has Rain gotten so smart, or was it James' idea? Steve noticed the smirk on Nicole's face and asked, "You have an idea, don't you? We can give up on this project with Sky Corporation. I would like to see what Everett can do." Nicole's eyes glinted with mischief, as she hoped to see if the person messing with them was Rain or not. "Okay, then we shall follow your plan. I too want to see what good Everett can do. Besides, you're the one holding the fire crest," Steve said with a sneer. "The fire crest?" Nicole looked at Steve blankly. "What is that?" Steve looked at Nicole and patted her on the head. "I got too excited for a while there and forgot you don't have all your memories back." "Steve, did you just say I'm the owner of the fire crest?" Nicole frowned a little. "I don't even know what the fire crest is, and now I'm the owner," she wondered. "Back in the day." Steve then carefully told Nicole about the legend of the fire crest, with Nicole nodding hesitantly as she listened on. "Oh, so I happen to own a century-old crest that's powerful enough to rally everyone to my cause. It's a pity that I can't remember any of this. Besides, I can't even recall where my crest is now. It would be useless now, I'm afraid," she thought. "Well, it doesn't matter if you have the crest or not. I believe that Everett is no match for you," Steve assured. Nicole could not help but smile upon hearing that. "Thanks, Steve. It wouldn't be any better even if we possessed the crest." "That's true. We can't force things. Perhaps one day you'll be able to recall all your memories and retrace your footsteps," Steve stated, being of the opinion that there was no need to discourage Nicole from regaining her memories. Nicole nodded and agreed, yeah. Still, Nicole was unable to brush aside the fact that she was unable to regain her memories, a predicament which left her frustrated. "Perhaps I can get someone to investigate the fire crest itself." "Well, in this case, if there's any updates, I'll share it with you and Sean," she said. "All right, I'll wait for your good news." "Okay." Nicole smiled, with Steve nodding and leaving thereafter. Nicole bit her lip as she frowned in confusion at not being able to wrap her head around where to begin her investigation on the fire crest. Where should I even start investigating? If I seek for Jared's help, it would just be a bother, as he could be too busy, Nicole thought to herself, before deciding to forget about it until she had thoroughly made her mind up about it. Nicole turned the power on her computer and began to conduct her research on the fire crest. The things Steve had told her about earlier were not as complicated as Nicole thought it would be. Thus, she began to look into the details of the fire crest for a deeper understanding of what it was. However, to Nicole's disappointment, there was very little information about the fire crest. All she was able to make out was that the 5 crests were supposed to represent the 5 elements of gold, wood, water, fire, and earth. The owner of these crests would enjoy unwavering support from prestigious families. As expected of families with long histories, Nicole sighed as she had no idea of where to start looking for the fire crest. Nicole bit her lips as she pondered, since I am the bearer of the fire crest, which means it might be in close proximity to me. Somewhere. Perhaps it could be where I had ended up on Crescent Island. I've been there for the past 5 years, so before I ended up there, I fell into the sea. Wait, it couldn't be lost in the ocean now, could it? If it indeed was lost there, it would be pointless to search for it. Nicole got lost in her thoughts before the ringing of her phone interrupted her. It was Martin calling. Nicole answered the phone. Martin. Nicole? How are you feeling? Martin went straight to the point. Nothing out of the ordinary. Same as usual, Nicole replied. I altered the moon again. I wanted to tell you that if you have the time, you can come over and try again. Martin told Nicole. Nicole readily agreed, sure. There's nothing much for me to do today. I can come over later. Sure, I'll wait for you, Martin answered. Nicole hung up and got out of the office. If there's no trace of evidence to find the fire crest, then I guess I can only resort to having my memory restored. When there's a will, there's a way. Soon after, Nicole drove all the way to Martin's R&D lab, where he was already waiting for her. You came here really quick, Martin remarked, impressed to see Nicole arriving in such a short time. I just happened to have some free time on my hands. Otherwise, I wouldn't have gotten here so quickly. Nicole went inside and sat down, ready to receive treatment from the moon right away. Once the moon was readily fastened, Nicole leaned back on her seat, trying to relax herself as she reminisced the pain she had felt during the previous session. Relax, you can't do it if you're this tense. Martin comforted Nicole gently, hoping that she could relieve herself of some of her tension. Nicole smiled in defeat. I know, it's just I don't think I can help myself. This is not something anyone can restrain or control. It's a muscle reflex. Though there was a hint of distress in Martin's eyes, he eventually spoke up after some consideration. Let me adjust the machine. We can start from the lowest level. That way, the pain will be bearable as we slowly progress. I'll wait for you to get used to it before we crank it up. Okay. Nicole uttered, agreeing to Martin's suggestion. It was not long before the treatment started. With Nicole not feeling any pain as Martin had assured, she then began to unwind. Noticing that Nicole was completely relaxed, Martin began to crank the machine up slowly so that it would be suited to her pain tolerance as much as possible. Nicole closed her eyes and leaned back, furrowing her eyebrows involuntarily. Martin was beginning to speculate that Nicole was starting to endure the pain at that level and began to monitor her closely in case the pain was too unbearable for her. After scrutinizing Nicole for a while now, he noticed that Nicole's expression remained the same. He had not cranked up the pain levels, and Nicole was still getting used to the pain as she shut her eyes slightly. Has she gotten used to the pain yet? Nicole then felt as if she was taking a dive into her memories, her brain filled with random fragments of events she had experienced in the past. However, she could not get a grasp on any of those fragments. No matter how hard Nicole tried, she could not get a clear picture of what it was. Ouch. Nicole finally opened her eyes, trying to regain her senses after being rendered unconscious. Are you okay? Martin, who was in shock, asked in concern. Nicole's cognizance gradually returned. She turned to look at Martin and shook her head. It's okay, he reassured. Martin then poured a glass of water and handed it to Nicole. Drink up and take some rest. Okay. Nicole took the moon off her head and grabbed the glass of water. Don't worry, you are worrying too much about this. It won't help you at all, Martin said in an attempt to convince Nicole. In response, Nicole nodded. I understand. It's just that I saw a lot of fragments just now, and I couldn't see them clearly no matter how hard I tried. It was useless. On the contrary, Martin was a little surprised. Really? You can recall some fragments of your past? Even if she can't see them clearly, it is at least a good sign. Her memories might stand a chance at recovery after all. He thought. Well, it's a shame it didn't work out in the end, Nicole sighed. It doesn't matter if we succeed now or not. I believe that we will eventually. Martin's confidence level skyrocketed. Upon hearing that, Nicole's eyes brimmed with determination. I will get my memories back, no matter how difficult it might be. After downing a glass of water, Nicole felt better and proceeded to request for another round of treatment there and then. However, Martin stopped her just in time. We can stop here. I'm afraid if we were to go on, we might not yield any results. Martin was worried about Nicole. He wanted her to relax and adjust herself for the time being before coming back another time. After giving it some thought, she agreed, all right then. What he said made sense, she thought, having understood Martin's words. After that, Martin glanced at the time. It's noon. Let's grab some lunch. Sure. Nicole agreed, reasoning that it would be fine for the two of them to have lunch together. Soon, the two of them left the R&D lab and settled down in a restaurant. The both of them ordered their meal and began chatting about the availability of treatment options. I will have to readjust the treatment plan after I get back. Martin smiled softly, hoping that Nicole would recover as soon as possible. All right. I'll come back right after you have made those adjustments, Nicole replied after a moment of consideration. Martin nodded in agreement. I'll definitely call you when the time comes. Sure. Both chatted casually, and soon when lunch was served, they dug in. In an unfortunate turn of events, Nicole had not noticed a woman who was sitting at the corner of the restaurant, glaring at her menacingly. Iris had not expected that she would bump into Nicole here either. On top of that, to see Nicole having lunch with another man as she enjoyed herself. Iris was uncertain as to who the man was, but one thing for sure, their relationship was not as simple as it seemed. She gritted her teeth as she whipped her phone out and discreetly took a photo of the two of them, deliberately capturing them in strange angles to make them seem more intimate. Iris stared at the screen of her phone, snorting coldly before switching to an anonymous account to send the pictures to Jared's inbox. Nicole, I would like to have Mr. Johnston see what exactly your true colors are. I doubt Mr. Johnston will be easily fooled by your antics this time. Meanwhile, at the Johnston Group headquarters, Jared was working at his desk when an email from an unknown sender popped into his inbox. He raised an eyebrow as he stared at the anonymous message, hesitating for a while before clicking it. Jared's eyes narrowed as he stared at the contents of the email. Max, Jared called out with obvious hints of displeasure in his voice. Max quickly entered the room. Mr. Johnston. Get someone to keep an eye on Nicole. There's someone tailing her, he ordered as the atmosphere in the room became as cold as ice. Max quickly complied. I had assigned a bunch of guards to keep a lookout for her prior to this. They should be in close proximity to her. I'll be in contact with them. Max quickly conveyed the message to the team of guards who were watching over Nicole, and naturally, it did not take long for them to receive the message. Mr. Johnston, they're heading there now. They'll be responsible for the safety of Ms. Riddle, Max reported. Okay. Jared issued a sigh of relief. Mr. Johnston, do you think Ms. Riddle is being targeted? Max asked with a hint of doubt in his voice. Someone sent a photo of Nicole and Martin having lunch together. I'm assuming that this individual must be in the restaurant too. Try and find out who they are, Jared posited. Not only did they take pictures of Nicole, but they had the guts to send it to me. Who the hell does that? He fumed. Okay, Max agreed. I think it's best if I go there myself. The group of guards had already arrived and was watching over Nicole in secrecy. Their main objective was to go undercover and prevent themselves from being exposed unless they happened to be dealing with specific situations where extra security measures were required. Although the guards Max had sent out were already guarding Nicole to ensure her safety, Max was still restless and was determined to go out there and check the scene out himself. Soon after Max had left, Jared's eyes narrowed. There have been an increasing number of incidents recently. I feel like someone is monitoring our every move, as if they're waiting for an opportunity and the right time to attack both Nicole and I. Meanwhile, at the restaurant, Nicole and Martin had parted ways after lunch, with Nicole returning to her office. The guards that had been called over ensured Nicole was not in danger. However, no one had noticed a dark figure hiding in their car. Iris pushed the edge of her hat down, and watched as Nicole left the place. She scanned the area before feeling relieved. As soon as she had seen Max walking into the restaurant earlier, she scrambled and skedaddled out of there. Iris was unsure of what happened after Max had entered the restaurant. The atmosphere there had become so strange that it triggered within her a reluctance to leave. Instead, she stayed to monitor everything that had happened. Then, Iris followed Nicole all the way to the headquarters of the Riddle Corporation, in which, much to her chagrin, she found nothing. Iris gritted her teeth. I've already sent the photo to him, but then Max appeared. This means he has already seen the email. Why? Does he seem so unbothered? Is it because he doesn't care at all? The more Iris thought about this, the more agitated she became in the parking lot of the Riddle Corporation where she was. She stayed right outside the company, killing hour after hour until office hours were over, after which she watched as the employees left in waves. Nicole, however, did not leave the office until hours later. Iris was surprised to see Jared's car rolling up to the driveway as soon as Nicole had exited the building. She watched as Nicole got into the car and left. Iris was left in shock as she tried to process all of this. Why? Why does it seem like it didn't affect him at all? He has obviously seen my email, and Max even came to the restaurant. It's obvious that my plan was a success, but how is this the outcome? Iris racked her brain, unable to understand the reason as to why Jared was unfazed. This made her boil as she gritted her teeth. I've waited here all afternoon like an idiot, and this is the outcome of my plan. Why does he care so much about her? What tricks did Nicole have up her sleeve? She fumed. Iris' eyes became even darker as she continued gritting her teeth in anger. Meanwhile, Jared and Nicole were heading toward the Riddle residence. Max went to the restaurant where I was having lunch. Did something happen? Nicole asked, her voice filled with curiosity. The moment Nicole saw Max, her first instincts informed her that something had happened. Seeing that Max did not take the time to greet her and just happened to be busy looking for something, however, Nicole had brushed it off. However, now that Nicole was with Jared, she was puzzled over the entire incident earlier during lunch. Someone was tailing you at the restaurant. I had asked Max to go over to check it out. Jared's eyes turned frosty. Tailing me? Nicole was shocked. Could it be my enemy? I didn't sense that there was anything off then. Someone took a photo of you eating with Martin and sent it to me. Jared replied without mentioning the other half of the story, as he believed that Nicole could connect the dots. Nicole, who was quick to understand, frowned. It couldn't be the paparazzi, could it? I guess they wanted to extort a little bit of cash from you. Who in the right mind would have the time of the day to take garbage pictures of Nicole having lunch with Martin? He thought. Perhaps Max arrived a little late, and so, he couldn't find any suspicious characters there. Jared's eyes glinted with ice. I will find this person and deal with them once and for all. I can't risk this person being near Nicole in the future. Nobody's going to get away with this again. Since the culprit was at the restaurant earlier, I'm sure they had left a trace or two. Nicole furrowed her eyebrows and whipped her laptop out. With that gesture, Jared understood what Nicole was up to. In no time, Nicole had already hacked into the restaurant's surveillance system. There were quite a number of patrons eating at the restaurant at the exact same time when they were having lunch. Nicole scanned through the surveillance clips but was unable to identify anyone suspicious. Still, there was a hint of skepticism in Nicole's eyes as she turned to look at Jared. Are you sure that person was in the restaurant? The phone came from that perspective, Jared pointed out as he took a glance at her laptop screen. It should be in that direction. Nicole quickly zoomed in on the surveillance footage and took a good look at the guests sitting at the tables in the corner. All of them seemed to be eating and chatting as they normally should. None of them were looking in my direction. Except one. Nicole replayed the surveillance quickly and found a woman sitting in the corner. However, the moment Max entered, the woman had quickly gotten up and rushed toward the bathroom without coming out later on. Nicole stared at the woman's figure. She could not put her finger on who the woman was, but she did look oddly familiar. The woman was wearing a huge pair of sunglasses too, so Nicole could not get to identify her facial features properly. "I didn't expect it to be a woman," Nicole snorted. "Now everything seems to make sense as to why she did this." The woman bolted when she saw Max enter the restaurant. For a dimly lit restaurant, she was wearing a pair of sunglasses worth around $200 to $300. Jared frowned. "How is it a woman? Who could this be?" "Max." "Right." When she saw Max, she immediately left. This person must be acquainted with Max. That rules out the idea that she was a paparazzi. It must be someone close to Jared, Nicole thought to herself. Not only does the person know Jared well, but they also know his email address and Max's too. This person must be an employee of the Johnston Group. "Send this clip to Max and ask for him to arrange someone to launch an investigation," Jared ordered. "Okay." Max agreed almost immediately. "It was weird enough that I wasn't able to catch anyone on the scene. Who would have known that the culprit ran away as soon as they saw me enter? What could that person possibly be thinking? Was it done to create a rift between Mr. Johnston and Ms. Riddle? Talk about being ridiculous," Max pondered. The car came to a halt, and Nicole realized they had already arrived. She got out of the car, with Jared in tow. Max drove away once after they had both disembarked. "Come on, let's go," Nicole sighed, completely drained after everything that had happened today. Jared looked at Nicole, and noticed she was a little tired. He grabbed her by the arm and brought her home. Inside, Gloria was playing with Lana in the living room. Strangely enough, the residence seemed a little emptier than usual. "Mommy." Lana waved her tiny arms as she rushed toward Nicole. Nicole patted Lana on the head, whereupon Lana turned to look at Jared. "Daddy." Jared bent down and picked Lana up, before the three of them went to the living room and sat down on the couch. "Where are the others?" Nicole asked casually. "Your dad took Nolan upstairs. He said he was going to do something. Spencer and Samuel called, saying they won't be back for dinner, while I think Stanley's in the study," Gloria explained. Seeing that Spencer and Samuel were not home yet, Nicole could not help but snicker. It seems that their love lives are going well. On the other hand, Stanley spends most of his time in the study. When will he get a girlfriend? What's up with Nolan? Do you want to go up and check on him? I'm worried that he's sick, Gloria said. After all, Gloria was the only worrywart when it came to Nolan. I think he'll be fine, Nicole reassured. She was well aware that Nolan had gone upstairs to check on his ranking. He had been doing well lately, so it should be his desire to increase his ranking that had gotten him parked in his room lately. Yes. A scream blared out from Nolan's room. The others did not know what the ruckus was, none except for Jared and Nicole. What's wrong? Daniel and Stanley's nervous voices emanated from upstairs. It's nothing, Grandpa and Uncle Stanley. You guys can go ahead. I will play for a little while longer, Nolan said, signaling that he had won his game. Shortly after, Daniel and Stanley came downstairs. They all ate their dinner together, though the atmosphere around the table was not as lively as usual. After dinner was over, Lana went off to watch TV for a while, not content with going to bed just yet. Gloria too joined Lana, insisting that she was not tired. Meanwhile, Nicole went upstairs to get some rest. She was utterly exhausted, and to top it off, she had a lot on her mind. After arriving in her room, Nicole quickly turned her computer on to check Nolan's ranking. To her surprise, Nolan had been promoted by 3 tiers. This filled her eyes with admiration. He's quite good. Nicole clicked on a link, bringing her to the Hunter web, whereupon the mission interface appeared. It was a little different than it was before. Before this, Nicole had only accepted missions. This interface, on the other hand, was for sending missions out. Soon, after creating a new nickname for herself, effectively making her untraceable, Nicole posted the search for the 5 crests. She was wise enough to not post directly under the crest forum. After all, it would be too direct, and everyone could easily guess it right off the bat, and ultimately, know it was related to her. Who would let anyone know that the fire crest is in my hands? Who would even bother with the reward at this point when they can come right at me? After the post had been uploaded, Nicole switched her computer off. She was very well aware that it was a challenging task for anyone to take on. Indeed, she was just testing her luck, as her options were pretty much limited. Instead of waiting, I guess the better way to do it is to think of other alternatives, she thought. It's going to be hard to find. Jared's voice blared out from behind. Jared saw Nicole's post on the mission interface and immediately knew that Nicole was on the search for the fire crest. Back when Jared was searching for Nicole, he had used the fire crest as a marker to search for her, knowing that Nicole had it in her possession. Finding the fire crest would be equivalent to finding Nicole. However, none of them both could be found, for there were no leads to begin with. Hence, it became a never-ending cycle for Jared. We can't give up like this, Nicole sighed. I have to get it back no matter what, she thought. Jared sat down next to Nicole. What made you think of finding the fire crest out of the blue? Was it the treatment today that made you recall something about it? No. Nicole shook her head. Steve told me all about it earlier. Upon hearing it, Jared's eyes darkened for a moment. It might be quite the issue if I must be honest. Everything can remain as it is, even if she can't regain her memories. However, all of these revelations would be too much for her to accept. Let's look for it slowly. I'm sure you'll be able to get your answers, Jared said, not pressuring her by asking what she could recall from her treatment earlier. Instead, he gently comforted Nicole as she leaned on his shoulders. Nicole sighed. I really want to regain my memories as quickly as possible. My memories, the fire crest. These were Nicole's top priorities, yet none of them were in her control. If anything, Nicole felt secure in Jared's arms as he patted her lightly on the back to comfort her. It was then Nicole realized that she had unconsciously leaned into his arms, and in an instant, she started flushing red from the embarrassment. I'm going to go take a shower. Nicole quickly stood up in a panic and scrambled into the bathroom. This gave Jared a good chuckle. Nicole's proactive response toward Jared had made him realize that there was a healthy amount of progress in their relationship. The next day, the sun shone brightly on Nicole's office, which, in spite of that, remained gloomy. Sean and Steve were both there, having a discussion with her. There's some form of connection with Rain. Since when she has gotten the smarts for this, Steve complained with a sour grimace. She doesn't have it. She just found someone who has, Nicole stated with a smirk on her face. Nicole, since it's Rain who's been playing tricks, do you have any ideas? Steve asked with a pessimistic look. Nicole bit her lip as she squinted her eyes. I'm sure she just wants to watch Everett and I go against each other while she sits there and watches the drama unfold. I can't let that happen. These were all tricks that she had used before. How could I fall for petty tricks like these? But if we do this, won't they be proud of themselves? Steve said, clenching his teeth. A sinister smile crossed Nicole's face at that instant. Then let's make sure neither of them gets a chance. She would not give anyone the chance to see her make a fool of herself and profit from it. That's a great idea, Sean nodded in agreement and admiration. Even if Everett and Rain banded together, none of the riddles would be afraid of them. This went without mentioning that their collaboration was not even official, so they were even less of a concern, let alone a genuine threat. So what plan have you come up with? Steve asked without any complaints, seeing that Nicole and Sean had reached an agreement. Instead, he began looking forward to taking action. Let's start with Sky Corporation, Nicole said meaningfully as she looked at both Sean and Steve, whereupon she explained her plan in detail. All right, that's it, Steve agreed, already eager to try it out. Sean nodded as well. I'm fine with that. Let's go according to your plan. Great, then we should start preparing for it, Nicole smirked, before beaming brightly. Soon, after Stephen and Sean had left, Lulu came into the room. Nicole, everything at Sky Corporation has settled. We have severed the cooperation, and they'll soon sign the contract with Nando Corp, Lulu mumbled. All right, Nicole looked at Lulu. Now, go over to Mr. Bennett and agree to his proposal. You're going to collaborate with Mr. Bennett? Doesn't that mean? Lulu's eyes widened. The direction and category of Mr. Bennett's partnership proposal was similar to that of Sky Corporation. However, they had reached an agreement with Sky Corporation first, and thus, they had declined Mr. Bennett's. But now that the understanding between the former had been rendered null and void, they acquired a second chance, one that was precious. If they accepted the partnership proposal from Mr. Bennett and acted quickly, they could get ahead of NandoCorp and complete their design so that they could enter the market earlier. That would put NandoCorp at a disadvantage. The more Lulu thought about it, the more excited she became. All right, I'll go get it settled now. Lulu turned around and strode away, causing Nicole to chuckle while shaking her head. Leaning back against her seat, Nicole turned the computer on. She was going to personally design and develop the project. At the same time, in the Johnston Group headquarters, Jared was sitting in front of his desk, his eyes darkening while he was deep in thought. His train of thought was only derailed by 3 knocks on the door. Max opened the door and came in thereafter. Mr. Johnston? Mr. Dalton just approved the new proposal. He will begin to remedy the situation on his end accordingly. As for the others, he said he would await our results. Understanding Mr. Dalton's intentions, Jared narrowed his eyes. Results, huh? Mr. Johnston, there are clues pertaining to the investigation as well. Max paused. He then lowered his tone and continued, the entire issue may have something to do with Lawrence. Darkness flitted in Jared's eyes for but a split second. As it turned out, Lawrence had begun to take his revenge on him. Jared would be surprised if Lawrence did not react, as the latter was not the kind to take losses lying down. Lawrence could not possibly act as if nothing had happened after losing a project he valued the most. Is there anything else? Jared said, his voice carrying a hint of coldness. In reply, Max hesitated before saying, that's all for the time being. I just find it a little suspicious. Jared looked at Max, and Max continued, my point is, even though Lawrence is exacting his revenge on us, how did he get a hold of our confidential information? How did Lawrence manage to tamper with the data of the Johnston Group? After all, only the people who had sifted through it would know, and only a minority of people in the company were a part of the process. The only plausible explanation was that someone had leaked the company's confidential information. Max, however, was of the opinion that none of the company's employees had a motive to betray them. Other than that, nobody was seen behaving in an unusual manner. Arrange for a thorough investigation, Jared instructed, his eyes glinting with frost. They had to find out if it was an insider's doing, as the company could not afford to keep a rat in their midst. Yes, Max agreed with a somber expression. Indeed, the company could never keep and tolerate such moles who would stab them in the back. What's going on over at Riddle Cooperation? Jared asked. There is indeed a slight issue over at Mrs. Johnston's place. But she has already made the necessary adjustments. There's no saying who would be the unfortunate one later on, though it would definitely not be Mrs. Johnston, Max gloated. Some people just could not seem to learn. None of them were remotely even in the same league as Nicole in the past. Even after 5 long years, they had not made any significant, tangible progress. Knowing that Nicole was fine, Jared felt more at ease. All right, get back to work. Yes, Max obliged, turned, and left in a stride. Thinking about Nicole, Jared smiled, and his dreary mood lightened a little. On the other side, Nicole suddenly sneezed as she was busy with her work. Achoo! After rubbing her nose, Nicole blinked her eyes and continued her work. Nicole, Mr. Johnston is probably thinking about you. Aren't you going to stop and spare a thought for him? Lulu laughed, teasing Nicole. Nonsense, it was probably just the cold from the air conditioner. Nicole playfully glared at Lulu, her cheeks flushed a shade of rosy red. Hee. Lulu approached and leaned against Nicole's desk. With one hand propping her chin up, she asked with an expression befitting of her gossipy nature. So Nicole, when is your wedding with Jared? I bet it must be a grand one. Raising her eyebrows at Lulu, Nicole said meaningfully, I'm the youngest in my family. Thus, my brothers should get married first. Not expecting Nicole to take control of the narrative, Lulu blushed at once. Hey, we were clearly talking about you. Why are you dragging me into this now? Besides, we are not in a hurry. Actually, you can be in a hurry, Nicole smirked and teased. This caused Lulu to shake her head vigorously. No, we're not. We are really not in a hurry. Seeing that Lulu had fallen for the bait, Nicole decided not to let her off the hook. With a curious look, Nicole asked, "How's it going with you and Spencer? I've noticed he's been picking you up from work recently." Nicole thought that the couple should have made significant progress in their relationship, but it seemed that they were still at a standstill. "We're doing fine." Lulu's cheeks flushed an even darker shade of red. Nicole raised her eyebrows, a knowing look flashing in her eyes. It seemed to her that good news would be just around the corner. "It's almost time for lunch. Let's go." Nicole stood up and stopped with the teasing. "Let's go then." Lulu breathed an internal sigh of relief. Being queried about her relationship with Spencer did indeed make her panic, and her heart, unbeknownst to her, was racing. The two ladies walked out of the headquarters and headed for a meal at the restaurant near the company. After ordering a meal, they got busy chit-chatting, when they suddenly heard a melodious violin duet. "Whoa, isn't that Spencer?" Someone commented from a seat not far away. "He's so handsome." "He's simply a fluttering gentleman," another person chimed in. "Wait, hasn't he always played solo before? Why would he be in a duet today?" "Who's that girl? She's so pretty." Having overheard the discussions around them, Nicole and Lulu shifted their attention to the big plasma screen. It was displaying a musical concert, and Spencer, as a special guest, was performing in it. Lulu knew the fact that he was participating in the concert, but she was unaware of the fact that he would be sharing the stage with another person. Lulu had never seen or heard from Spencer about the girl who was performing with him. "It's just a performance," Nicole comforted Lulu softly after noticing how crestfallen she was. "I know. He did inform me about his performance today." Lulu flashed a beaming smile in response. Lulu did not mind the notion of Spencer performing with someone else. But as she looked at the dazzling Spencer, she felt a pang of insecurity deep down. What made it worse was that he was standing beside such a beautiful girl, leading Lulu to believe that this was originally how Spencer's future should have been. Feeling a sense of bitterness deep within, Lulu shifted her attention, not daring to continue watching the performance. Noticing Lulu's despondency, Nicole gently patted her hand, saying, "Don't think too much about it." Lulu paused and smiled a little just as the waiter served them their meals. "Yeah, let's eat." Nicole shook her head lightly as she noted Lulu's fake smile and ceased all mentions of the subject altogether. After lunch, Nicole and Lulu left the restaurant. To distract Lulu from her listlessness, Nicole suggested, "Come with me to Mr. Bennett's place this afternoon." Taken aback by the proposition, Lulu exclaimed, "You've completed the preliminary design." "Yep, let's discuss it with Mr. Bennett when we meet," Nicole replied. In truth, there was no need for Nicole to personally meet Mr. Bennett. She just wanted to bring Lulu out to unwind, hence the suggestion of them both going out together. Sure enough, with something on her hand to keep her away from the devil's playground, Lulu's mood improved, and she followed Nicole's busy schedule until the end of the day. Mr. Bennett was lavish with his praise for the designs. He even said that, with you taking charge, he was even more confident in the collaboration, Lulu remarked with eyes brimming with joy. Nicole smiled in response. "That's good." He said to leave the rest to him. "He will definitely guarantee your satisfaction," Lulu added. Nicole's eyes narrowed, becoming downcast soon after. "It's best this way." After tidying up their desk, they left the company, but just as they were leaving, someone called out, "Lulu." Turning her gaze to the voice, she saw Spencer, who had just gotten down from the car and was waving at her. "You're here," Lulu smiled, walking over to Spencer. Nicole took a sweeping glance and followed her from behind. "I saw the musical concert you were performing in today." "Oh really?" Spencer seemed a little surprised. He then turned to look at Lulu. "I wanted to invite you to the scene, but something came up last minute. That's why I couldn't call you. That's all right. We saw it during lunch, Lulu explained with a smile. Spencer, weren't you always used to performing solo? Why was it a duet today? Nicole asked Spencer with a curious look on her face. Hearing Nicole's question, Lulu instantly put on a somber look. She strained her ears, wanting to find out more regarding the situation. Nicole raised her brows. She knew Lulu was curious about the question too. However, Lulu would never bring it up to Spencer if Nicole did not ask first. Please like and share so others can see it too. Also hit the subscription button and notification bell so you can be notified on our next release. Thank you for your support. God bless you.